Relations between Egypt and Somalia have witnessed a great development in recent years, supported by strong political will and a serious effort to develop joint future plans in many fields. On the trade and economic levels, the Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics, CAPMAS, said that Egypt's exports to Somalia increased to $66.3 million in 2021, compared to $60.1 million in 2020, an increase of 10.2%. According to official statistical data issued by CAPMAS, Egypt's imports from Somalia amounted to $1.3 million in 2021, compared to $5.7 million in 2020, a decrease of 77.9%. Moreover, it indicated that the value of trade exchange between Egypt and Somalia increased by $67.5 million in 2021, compared to $65.8 million in 2020, an increase of 2.6%. Egypt exports a number of food commodities, construction materials, and the pharmaceutical sector, while Egypt imports livestock from Somalia. It is worth mentioning that energy and water projects are at the top of the areas that are witnessing great development between the two countries, especially with regards to projects of solar energy cells and networks either in Mogadishu or Puntland at a cost of $4.5 million. On another front, the banking sector is one of the promising sectors of cooperation, as it was agreed in principle to launch training programs for Somali bankers, whether through the Egyptian national banks, Al Ahli, Egypt, and Cairo, or in cooperation with the Egyptian Banking Institute, where Egyptian banking institutions seek to have a stronger presence in Somalia. In the medical sector, the Egyptian embassy delivered a shipment of medical aid amounting to about 2 tons of medicines provided by the Egyptian Agency for Partnership for Development of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the Somali Ministry of Health on March 8th of 2018. On May 17, 2017, under the directives of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Egypt continued its efforts to help the Somali brothers affected by the violent drought that hit separate parts of the country, as new batches of food, medicines, solutions, and medical supplies were sent. The cultural relations between the two countries have also been characterized by depth and tradition since President al-Sisi took office, where he agreed to increase the number of scholarships offered to Somali students in Egyptian universities in October 2014 to become 200 university scholarships annually, as well as treating Somali students studying in various Egyptian universities as Egyptian students, within the framework of supporting the brotherly country of Somalia, especially in the technical fields in which Egypt has distinguished expertise. The Somali side currently receives 50 university scholarships annually, according to the cultural program between the two countries, in addition to 40 other scholarships offered through cooperation between the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Somali Embassy in Cairo. The Egyptian Embassy in Mogadishu also announced on November 14, 2014, the arrival of Egyptian military aid to Mogadishu, including military and logistical equipment, as part of a long-term Egyptian plan to support Somali security institutions. The Egyptian military aid was also provided in February 2016, including armored cars and office equipment for the Somali army. In July 2016, Egypt provided complete equipment for a group of Somali special forces in addition to computers.
Welcome back, and back to you, Dr. Khaled. And from your point of view of what we've seen in this report, definitely Egypt from the 2015 till the 2019 have signed a number of agreements in memoranda of understanding in several files or fields, including health, education, agriculture, livestock, fisheries, and trade, and all this. From your point of view, what are the priorities of the Egyptian-Somali cooperation at this very particular time, and in light of the global challenges that we are witnessing?
As their excellencies, both of them put it together, number one is the security of Somalia and the security of the African Horn. So this comes number one. so we can get to stability. And after stability, we can move to education. And education have to go in parallel with the financial sector, which the president highlighted that Egyptian bank will be willing to train the Somalis banks, and even we opened a branch for Bank Misr in
Yes.
Mogadishu.
True.
So we can help them to grow economically from inside. Then after that, they have to follow what we did here, which is to the infrastructure, the water project, drinking water, the sewerage, the internet, which is the fiber optics, and designing their communities and building their nation back again together.
So Egypt has always been dealing with its development with two hands. A hand that fight, or rather that secure the stability of the country, and a hand that build.
Yes.
And so it has been doing with supporting its African brothers and sister countries. If we speak about the field of combating terrorism, since we spoke, the first thing you said is the security of Somalia. From your point,
not only Somalia, the security of the region.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely,
Yes.
the whole regions, because
Yes.
we're speaking here about the
Yes.
Middle East and Africa, but today
Yes.
is Somalia and Africa. So if we speak about the importance of Egyptian cooperation with the Somali side, or the efforts exerted by Egypt in trying to or in supporting Somalia in its fight against terrorism.
Let's put it in a very simple words. Without the help of the Egyptian security forces, whether it's military or intelligence or police, over the past years with the Somalis, they were never gonna reach where they reach it today. So all of this is like the conclusion of a lot of Egyptian security or homeland security, so we can put all the agencies together. What we saw or what we're witnessing right now between the two presidents is really the outcome of these efforts. When you get a country which is completely dismantled, every part of the country is somewhere, and you get them together, and you know who is making the troubles, and you fight them inside, and you fight them abroad, and you fight them even before they get out from their countries to go to Somalia. The Somalis can never do this, but we did that to help bring stability to the region. So definitely it's a very, very big effort, and if we can say hats off to our national security personnel who brought that.
Armed and police forces,
I
brave
said
forces.
national, both of the securities, all of them.
Definitely.
Yes. So this was almost like a celebration for a success of these forces. Terrorism has no religion. Terrorism has no color. Terrorism has no whatsoever code of conduct. They are just terrorists. And to fight them, we finished the job here in Egypt, and we started to clean the whole mess in the areas around us. So there is a lot of cooperation is right now between the Egyptians and the Somalis, and it's going to be much more in the future. We need to train their personnel. We need to train how to secure their borders, how to use the new equipment, how to use the new science of all of that. And we're doing it with a lot of African countries, not only Somalis. But today we're talking about Somalia.
Indeed we are. And this is why I'm speaking about security and reiterating the importance of security, because
yes.
When we speak about fighting terrorism, then it's not just the security and military means.
Oh, no.
But also Egypt has been working on fighting the extremist ideologies through a number of efforts.
Yes.
Indeed. Fighting through the security and military means, this is one side, but also education and development. And this is another side of Egypt's support to Somalia. So
Yes.
how do you view that, or the role of Egypt in rebuilding
This is the
Somalia?
soft diplomacy, and it's very important for us to help them with their education and with the health care. And also healthcare comes with the hospitals and doctors and the pharmaceuticals also for over there. And we did send them a lot of gifts to over there. And most of the trade between Egypt and Somalia, as we just heard in the report, is pharmaceutical equipments and medicine. So there's a lot to be done between the Egyptian corporations and the Somalis corporations to bring the stability to both nations and to help build their economies. It's a great, big, vast market to the Egyptian economy to take over that whole area, to start to export all of this.
Trade.
Yes, definitely.
Trade and economy. And
trade
economic
and economy
relations.
and economics will bring stability, which is going to bring prosperity.
Definitely.
And will kick out bad ideologies.
From your point of view, how can Egypt support, or can or rather, what kind of bilateral cooperation do both countries need to put in order to be able to step in the direction of more trade and more economic relations?
As we just heard in the report, that one of the biggest commodities we buy or we import from Somalia is the livestock. And also for them to import from Egypt was the pharmaceutical and medical equipment. So with the putting and expediting the African treaty, which is Africa without borders, we're going to go back again and find an exchange rate outside of the US dollar. So both our balance sheet was not going to be connected to the US dollars. So we don't have burdens on our trade balance. So if we can export, they need to build the whole country. They need everything. They need from water, pipes, ceramics, bricks, engineers, workers, roads, internet, everything. We can export that. And also we need here a lot of agricultural products. We need wheat, we need cotton. Unfortunately, we import a lot of cottons right now. And we need meat, and we need sesame, and we need a lot of these things, which can be planted, and we can teach them the new ways of irrigation, the new ways of cultivation, the new ways of seeds, and we can both gain from this treaty, definitely.
If we speak about the challenges that are really facing the African continent at large, and how far integration among the African countries need to be maintained at this upcoming stage? From your point of view, how do you see the keenness of Egypt to emphasize this importance, the importance of integration, the importance of strengthening and consolidating our common relations with all the African countries at large?
You are saying, or you are re-saying the same words, which is excellency. President Sisi was saying to all the African leaders in the African Exim Bank, telling them in another word, wake up. We need to integrate. We cannot succeed each country by its own. Let's get out of the, was his words, and was the outcome of all of this convention which was happening. We need to integrate all together. I'm going to tell you, I want to fly from here, something I experience myself when I go to West Africa. From here to go to West Africa. How do you think I fly? I fly from Cairo to Paris to Dakar. I fly from Cairo to Dubai to Dakar. I fly from Cairo to Istanbul to Dakar. There is no Egypt Air to Dakar. Okay?
Seriously?
Yes, seriously. We are on air and I'm telling you that. And always in every show I come and say, Egypt Air need to wake up and to rise up to the challenges and to rise up to where the president is saying and to understand its role and what needed to be done. Okay? And also, we cannot do this and we are putting in the custom borders tons of regulations for our goods to be exported to these countries. They're going to treat us by the same from the other side.
I guess that the AFCTA or the African Free Trade Agreement has been speaking about the tariffs
Yes.
and
Yes.
eliminating
They
those
are
barriers.
talking about on the ground, it is not yet implemented. Okay, if we are important just from Somalia, 66 million, most of it is livestock meat. You can imagine how much we are importing from Brazil, from the United States, and from other countries. Why are we importing with the US dollars? Why? We're taking it from Somalia, we're taking it from Sudan, we're taking it from any other countries. Give me the meat and take clothes. Why we should tie it with the US dollars? Why we bring another currency and tie everything? And this what is the president was trying to tell just wake up and we can do much better than that.
An African currency?
Not even an African currency. We can come up with an African currency, by the way, and this is yeah, you know, that this is a very high level of a dream to reach. But at least let's reach an agreement. Okay, when I get livestock from you or wheat, we can give you ceramics and we can give you some cloth. Instead of this factories in 10th of Ramadan are shutting down and closing, and they want to export to Europe and to the United States high-end textiles. Why you are forcing yourself to get in this competition where there are people who want the second grade and the third grade of cloth, and they're going to be very happy with it.
So we're speaking here about enhancing the trade and
definitely intercontinent, and
yes.
This needs whole show, series of shows.
I was just about to say that because we will be needing another show to speak or another episode to speak about that, and unfortunately my time is out.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
Right. Dr. Khaled Abu Heib, Chairman of the Investment and the International Cooperation Committee of the National Council for Strategic Planning, we thank you so much for being with us today.
It's been a pleasure having me. Thank you, Azra. Thank you.
And dear viewers, many thanks for watching. Tomorrow will be another important debate with another colleague. Good night.